So here's just some dash cam footage of your way into Centralia, Pennsylvania. I'm just uploading this so people who want to visit there kind of have an idea of what to look for as they get into town, to kind of find where to park and where to go and stuff. There's um there's a million videos out there of this place, and they're all pretty much the same. Um, it's a it's a deserted town. There's nothing there really. Um, I really wouldn't suggest going there unless it's on your way. I was actually going I-80 west through Pennsylvania, so this was about an hour out of my way to get to this, and then I think it was about maybe roughly an hour back to the freeway, maybe a little bit less, but so I didn't spend so much time going out of my way to this place. But if you want the address that I punched into my GPS, it's 600 Locust Avenue. That's Locust Avenue, Centralia, PA 17921. And that's the address to the Central Municipal Building, which you'll see a fire truck inside of it, a pretty old one. That's really kind of the only building there in this area. Um, I seen that building. I seen one house that seems to be abandoned now, and I seen another house that has like a junkyard lot, and that's pretty much all I seen. But I didn't explore very much. Now this is where I parked with St. Ignatius Cemetery. For me, that was the best place to park. I got there really early. I was like the first one out there. It was only like 30 degrees, but a lot of people ended up showing up. Um, Now the cemetery, it's marked no trespassing everywhere. But I went in there to turn my car around, and then I took some video footage and stuff. I could upload that, but it's not very great. But the cemetery is still being used by people. There's still people being buried there, essentially. Um, so, just keep that in mind. Don't fuck with it. Don't fuck, take a few pictures and leave. So they leave the gates open, and then behind this cemetery, there was another cemetery. So here you can see I just took a quick drive in the cemetery. There's actually cars parked behind me, so I figured it was easier just to turn around just to go inside of here. Some of the tombstones are pretty old, kind of neat to look at, but it's there's really nothing amazing in there to look at. Now in the far back right, there was another cemetery, a smaller one, and you can actually see it on Google Maps. Um, the one in the back is St. Peter and Paul Cemetery, I believe, and that one's kind of locked off. I suppose you could walk around the fence and walk around the back, and then probably walk over there, but I just really didn't have the time to do it. I had a 5 hour drive ahead of me still, and I had just done a bunch of painting, so I just kind of wanted to get out of there. But this is really all the cemetery is. Um, Now, from what I heard, is like it's so hot underground that the bodies are actually kind of being cremated over time from the heat, which I don't really know how true that is. I mean, I wouldn't really think so. Um, you're only buried about 6 feet underground, and even if you're in a coffin and stuff, it takes a while for a coffin to break down. I don't think the heat's that close. I think when they bury people, they would kind of have more of an idea of like how hot it is underground once you dig 6 feet. So I don't know about the myth about the people being, you know, cremated as they're buried. Um, Nobody really knows how hot it is underground. You don't know like if the city is lying about, there's been rumors that the city kind of there's so much coal underground that the government or a company or something is trying to they wanted everybody to evacuate so they could take a hold of this coal after all the buildings are all gone. So here you could see as I'm leaving, there's kind of like a lot of people there. Um, there's kind of a lot of people where I parked. I met a lot of nice people. Um, some people just didn't want to talk at all. You'd say hi to them, they wouldn't say shit back. But A lot of people actually like stopped and had a little nice conversation. I met some people from Europe that were nice. Couple families with their kids that were painting. They were fun to be around, just to have them around to keep me company because I went alone. So it was just kind of nice to talk to the people passing through, saying hi, and a lot of people were there for their first time. A lot of people from out of town, and I went like extremely early, and I think I ended up spending 2 hours there, and that was mostly just because I was painting. Um, so here's the side streets. There's literally this town is extremely small. It's not as big as it seems in the video. There's like 6 or 7 side streets only. Um, the roads are actually paved pretty good, but there was like I think 2 roads that look like I might get a flat tire if I gone down them. I seen 2 people going down them extremely slow, and knowing that I had about a 5-hour trip ahead of me, I didn't want to get a flat tire, so I didn't go down those roads. So there's really not much to see here. So I wouldn't suggest going here if it's that much out of your way. But for me, it only being an hour out of the way was worth it. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't take a 5-hour trip to go there. You know what I'm saying? There's just really nothing to see. It's nature has overtaken all of the yards, as you can see, all the trees with no leaves. Um, you can still see the sidewalks and the curbs. Um, Everything is painted everywhere. There's a lot of these little walls that I'm guessing were in front of buildings. See some of the stairways that go up to some of them. Um, so yeah, really, there's really nothing there to see. So really, you come off the freeway, um, you go through a little town, uh, and then you go on Locust Avenue. Seems to be the main avenue that you want to look for. Um, I'm trying to look at my directions. So I got off at 80. I went down South 81 to 924, and I think from 924 I went to Locust maybe. But yeah, if you punch the address in that I said before, you'll be able to find it. Just do some Google Map research. Um, like I said, the footage ain't really. It's dash cam footage. There's a lot of ATVs out there. Um, I read a lot of people complaining about the ATVs, and it was only like 30 degrees when I went out there. So I got the flu right now because I was just it was just cold as fuck out there. But yeah, I heard a lot of people kind of complaining online about the ATVs. The people on the ATVs are pretty friendly. It is pretty noisy when they pass you, but you got to realize this is like their town, and that's what they do for fun. So let them have their fun. You know what I mean? There's not much. You're deep in the hills, so this is what they do for fun. So just let them have that. You know what I mean? So hopefully my voiceover isn't ruining the video or making it more boring or whatever. But um, I would say if you do walk around and you see any steam coming out of the ground or anything smoke like that, you don't know what kind of gases are coming out of the ground. So I wouldn't get too close to that because it could be toxic. I'm sure you could snap a few pictures in front of it and stuff like that, but I seen another video of like a guy sticking his face like under a rock to actually like look at the heat, and I really wouldn't suggest doing that because you don't know what chemicals are coming up from the ground really. Um, I've seen a lot of fake pictures too of people trying to reenact like smoke and stuff coming from the abandoned freeway part, and it's pretty much fake. There's really no heat that comes up from the freeway part anymore. What I did notice is the big hole in the freeway that a lot of people take pictures in front of. There was a lot of burnt stuff in that hole, and that's from people trying to make make smoke come up so they could take a picture in front of it. So basically what I'm saying is a lot of those videos and a lot of pictures and stuff are kind of phony in a way because they're creating smoke. I've seen a person threw a flare in there to make smoke. Um, People throw a lot of dry stuff in there and burn it, and you could tell there's a lot of burnt stuff in there that was like, people were burning it. So yeah, as far as heat coming out of the ground and stuff like that, I didn't see any of that, but I didn't do a lot of exploring. My dash cam for here, right here, for some reason, it kind of came pixelated. So it's a new dash cam. Um, I don't know why. I don't know if it's going bad or what's going wrong with it, but my windshield was also kind of dirty. This was like one of the only houses I found, and it kind of looked pretty empty. Um, all the windows and stuff were not the windows, but the blinds were all open. Um, but I didn't have time to go and knock on the door or anything like that. So I saw this house, and then like down the street, I don't know if it shows up on the video, but there's another house that's the junkyard house that has tons of cars in it. Um, so rumor has it, as people die off, the government or whatever claims the domain and kind of just demolishes the house. You can't pass the house down to a family member or anything like that. So that's really pretty much it for this video. Like I said, there's really not much to see but trees and land. I've seen a lot more better abandoned places elsewhere. Um, there was kind of a thing. I think it's right here on the corner, right across. Um, a little dedication thing that somebody made on the other side of that wall. And then as I'm leaving on the left, at the stop sign, you could see somebody made a little structure of like Jesus and stuff for Christmas. Yeah, it's right there on the left corner. You see like baby Jesus and Mary and stuff in there, and that's pretty cool. And I seen if you've seen those Christmas decorations on the light poles, um, I guess there was a guy in the city who bought electrical wiring, was actually supplying light to those. I seen a video about that. It was pretty old, so I don't know if that guy is still alive. Here's the municipal building, um, which is the only like thing really there. There is cameras all over that building, so just don't vandalize it. Don't be a dickhead. Um, if you bring like spray paint and stuff like that, try to clean up after yourself. I know sometimes the city. By the way, this is going out of Centralia now. Now we're headed back to the freeway. But I know some of the local people, they do like cleanups sometimes. So they do try to keep the area somewhat neat. So I don't know, maybe if you just, instead of just throwing your garbage off to the side, maybe just bag it. Maybe take it with you to throw away when you get home. Or maybe just throw the bag to the side, so at least when they're cleaning up trash, it'll be easier to pick up bags, you know what I mean? Um, I'm not an environmentalist or anything, so I don't know if that's actually worse to do or what, but I know, throwing spray paint cans around ain't really that great. But that's just a suggestion. You can do whatever the fuck you want, I don't care. So that's pretty much it for the video. Like I said, it's nothing that other people haven't posted before. It's the same shit, really. But I just hope this gives people a better idea of kind of what they're looking for as they head into town, and how to get to, where to park. Because I have really bad anxiety, so going here alone, from 5 hours away, I didn't know where to park and yada yada, so that's that. So here's some footage of just walking down the actual graffiti freeway. Um, it's really not that interesting. It's pretty boring, but since I recorded it, I figured I'd throw it up here. The camera's pretty shaky. It's kind of shitty footage, to be honest. I wasn't looking at too much at what I was recording. I was trying to just enjoy the surroundings instead of looking through the camera. So it's pretty shaky. I did go all the way to the end, but I stopped the recording before the end. But if you see at the end of the footage, you see there's kind of just like a hill, and then it pretty much just ends. So that's where I stopped the video at. Also, I wanted to say it is like you are going downhill. From all the videos I watched online and stuff, I for some reason I had the notion that this was like a straight freeway. It isn't. You're going all the way down, and then you have to go all the way back up. So I'd suggest bringing in an extra pair of shoes. I brought some boots because you don't know what you're gonna step on. The freeway itself, it's pretty clean. Didn't really see any like nails and shit like that. But you know, you don't want to step on anything sharp if you're traveling around. The place is extremely fucking muddy. And you know, if you got like bad knees or bad health or whatever, you might want to, you know, factor that in of going all the way down the hill and all the way back up. But it's only like, I think it's only like 15-minute walk or something down and maybe 15 back, something like that. It's not that much really, but I had actually tore the muscle going up my side from my hip to my rib, so I was actually in a lot of pain going back up the hill. So you can kind of hear me wheezing and stuff a little bit towards the end. So I was kind of having a rough time with that. So also I got a bad disc in my back and bad knee. So take all that into consideration if you're walking, if your health is kind of fucked up. But there's a lot of people hiking and stuff, so it was pretty cool. Guys are fucking dickheads up above. Did you hit that hole? I ain't going all the way down there. I don't have enough fucking time. This clip is pretty cool. The ground exploded as I was painting, so I didn't get where it exploded from, but as you can see, like water starts gushing down, so I tried to zoom in on that. There was a hole at the top of the freeway, it bursted open, and just gallons of water came rushing down the freeway, and it was just really weird. I actually like was pouring water at me or something, and you can see I kind of looked back like, what the fuck. But yeah, all this water just started gushing out of ground. It was pretty cool actually.